My encounter with 3 Serbian rapists, murderers, and child traffickers. Some background information. I am half Albanian, meaning a whole lot of my family is spread across Albania, and some of them even in Serbia. This occurred in the summer last year when I was 15 years old, and my parents allowed me to go visit my family in both Albania and Serbia with my uncle, who did not want to go alone anyways. It was in the second week of our little vacation that we decided to now drive to our family in Serbia. I love to go out, midnights especially, because it's so quiet and nearly no one goes out after dark, at least in this small area, and that means there is no one out there who could annoy the hell out of me. Serbia does not really have a lot of money, so you won't really have any streetlights or anything like that around, especially not in the smaller towns. I was outside with a friend of mine, but at around 1 a.m. he chose to leave. He said it was too late and he was growing more and more tired. So I walked him to his house, which is in a heavy wooded area, and I left afterwards. It was around 1:30 now, and I decided to stay outside a little bit because of the beautiful weather. It is really hot in Serbia in the summertime, even at nights with over 20 degrees Celsius. I continued walking my path when I suddenly heard footsteps and whispers around me. I turned around and saw 3 men walking towards me really fast. But I was not scared or intimidated by them. I am a kickboxer, and I know how to handle myself, especially against those 3 around 40-year-old males. I told them to make no wrong moves because I am the wrong one to fuck with. One of the men responded, and I'm just saying this could be a horrible translation because it is in another language. Pushi mi kuraz, which means suck my dick. And when he said that, I told him he should come closer if he wants his skull opened. All 3 of the men put that creepy smile on their face at the same time, and this caught me off guard. The one I told to come closer came closer towards me, but with one uppercut, I knocked him down immediately. He wasn't even in a real fighting position. The tallest one of them took out a gun and pointed it at me, but I was not scared by any means. I looked death in the face too many times to be scared now. I approached the man with the gun, and he said, Ajie Budal, meaning, are you stupid or are you crazy? He then shot at me, but his aim was so bad I even started laughing at him. I suddenly felt pain in my neck, and when I turned around, I saw the man who I punched with a needle in his hands. Everything went black soon after, and I found myself chained up to something in the darkness. But as my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I realized I had been chained up next to a heating thing. They used duct tape. After that, I also untied the duct tape around my feet. It was still all dark, and I did not know where I was, and my phone was not in my pockets anymore, so I could not call anyone for help. But I managed to walk up some of the stairs and find a door. But of course it was locked. I put my ears against the door and heard some noises. I assumed I must have been in a basement. I searched for a way out, something like a window, but the only way out was through the door. I searched for an object I could use to defend myself, so I could have better chances, knowing at least one of them had a gun. I found a small pipe in the corner of the basement, and now I just needed that door to be opened. I made a lot of noise, quickly went back to the heating, and made it look like I was still tied up. It worked. They opened the door, turned on the light, and slowly went down the stairs and approached me. The guy who had put the needle in my neck ducked down really close to me and said, "You must be really unlucky to stumble across us. You will be happy to know now that you were talking to kidnappers, rapists, murderers, and also child traffickers." He had such a big smile while saying this, I simply asked, "So, What do you want to do with me?" The man which tried to shoot me earlier responded, "Rape you? Sell some of your body parts, and make you wish you were dead while laughing like a maniac." A smirk came across my face, and I said, "I am sorry, but none of this will happen." And I took out the pipe, which I clutched tightly behind me, and hit the man who ducked down next to me right in the face. I ran over the man with a gun and hit him before he could even realize what was going on. I was so aggressive and had so much anger in me that I threw the pipe onto the third man. After that, I repeatedly punched him. I stopped when his face was swallowed by blood and looked around. All of them were still down, screaming in agony. I went back to the man with the gun, took it, and shot him in his right knee, and then in his stomach. I pointed at the other two men and told them to go through the door with me and give me a phone. I had a girlfriend, and her uncle was one of the leaders of the Serbian mafia in this area. They called him Grey Wolf. I called her and explained everything. She said she would call her uncle immediately. I got a call 2 minutes later from an unknown number, and it was Grey Wolf. He told me he needed to know where I am. The men didn't want to tell me, so I shot both of them in their stomach. Both of them screamed out the address so loud that even Grey Wolf heard it through the phone. A few minutes later, a group of people entered through the front door. One of them, the Grey Wolf. I simply told him that there is a man down in the basement. After putting all of them on the couch in the living room, me, Grey Wolf, and two others went further to investigate the house because of the things they have told me about themselves. So we went upstairs, leaving the scum in the living room, which were being watched by the rest of the mafia members, making sure none of them tries anything. What we found in one room is extremely disturbing, and you should skip this part if you are against any form of unnecessary violence. We found some photo albums in that room, and the pictures were full of children being raped, none of them older than 5. The men took their turns with them, even beating them up and shoving several objects up their bodies, in general leaving them in really bad conditions. They also cut symbols into their skin and made kids drink their own blood. They also made pictures of the dead children with their organs lying next to them. There was so much more, but I cannot mention it. So many things they did to children. I looked over to Grey Wolf and the other men, and they were nearly throwing up. Grey Wolf said the same things they did to those kids will be done to them. And he took one picture with him, tears in his eyes. When I asked him why, he told the men next to him to go down. After they went down, he showed me the pic and said, "This is my daughter. She disappeared without a trace and was found dead in some bushes while crying." He went down and beat every single one of the men up so bad that they did not even move anymore. I got home safely at around 7 a.m., and when my family asked me what happened and where I was, I just told them I was sleeping at my girlfriend's house, and they believed me. To this day, I never spoke about this, but I will never be able to forget those pictures.